All right, Matt, it is time. Our main event, UFC 245. You get the champ, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, taking on Colby Chaos Covington.
Wicked nickname for Kamaru Usman.
Matt, this is a really fun fight. Let's start the 5-minute timer to get into it, because we were talking about this fight before we came on here. And you look at the stats, and we're always pretty stat heavy, but it's very interesting because the striking stats, you look at these two guys, you look at the body of work that Colby Covington put into his last fight against Robbie Lawler, and he set a record for strikes landed and strikes attempted, which is awesome. But Kamaru Usman, actually, if you look into it per fight, has better averages. You look at it, strikes landed per minute, 4.2 for Usman versus 3.9 for Covington. The accuracy is where it comes into detail, because 54% accuracy for Usman, 37% for Covington. Strikes absorbed per minute, 1.6 for Usman, 2.35 for Covington. Those are the interesting numbers that I had to bring up in the first minute of the fight, because they're very important, especially for volume guys.
I think you're focusing on the wrong stat. If you scroll further down, here's the problem. These guys do a lot of the exact same. The only difference is Kamaru Usman's never been taken down, ever. Colby Covington is in the UFC. Colby Covington is a very good wrestler. We've seen him get taken down by smaller guys too. Rafael dos Anjos in rounds 4 and 5 was taking down Colby Covington, having good success grappling with him. And if RDA, who I am a big fan of, you got to respect what he's done for the sport, he's not really a welterweight, and he is quite undersized at that division. Kamaru Usman is built like a Greek god. He is one of the best wrestlers in just MMA history, no matter what. And what he was able to do to Tyron Woodley, who up until that point had the best takedown defense in UFC history, Kamaru Usman pretty much ragdolled him for 25 minutes. Whether it be on the feet, he would rock him, take him down, beat him up on the ground. There was not a single thing Kamaru Usman didn't do perfectly.
It was a weird fight by Tyron Woodley. It really was, by all standards and effects of a Tyron Woodley fight. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right. Kamaru Usman, 336 total strikes landed to 60 from Woodley. And he pieced him up. He looked great. I wish we got to see Kamaru Usman since then, because that was back at UFC 235, Jones versus Smith, which was forever ago. And Colby Covington, he's been able to since then, since even Usman became champ, run his mouth. He was former interim champ. He was able to push himself into a fight like this. Yes, he had to take on Robbie Lawler in front of a big audience in New Jersey.
But wait, you say big audience.
Was it really that big? No, it wasn't. But he did have the eye of the president, which is a big deal. But the point of the matter is, we have a very, very similar clash of styles here, which is incredibly interesting, because it's actually a fun fight.
I have a really weird fight that's going to contrast this, and you're going to be like, but Matt, why? When Tatiana Suarez fought Carla Esparza, Tatiana Suarez, even though Carla Esparza is a really good wrestler, she's not the cream of the crop of a wrestler, even though she uses it a lot in her game. Tatiana Suarez is able to go out there and ragdoll her, even though that their credentials are quite similar. This is the same case, I think. I think Kamaru Usman, even though he hasn't fought a wrestler of the caliber of Covington, in the fact that Woodley's a really good wrestler. He just doesn't really use it in his fights as much as Colby does. Kamaru Usman, if Covington goes out there and tries to take him down, he's going to get tired, because he's not going to be able to take Usman down. And if Usman takes Covington down, I just don't see Covington having the explosiveness or the cardio at a certain point to be able to get up from those attacks.
So for Usman, he's taken on good wrestlers in the past. We talk common opponents, guys like Damian Maia, guys like Dos Anjos, and then Lawler for Covington. And with Usman, it was a title shot against Tyron Woodley, where he looked awesome. But the fact of the matter is, Kamaru Usman's able to defend certain takedown attempts while also volume striking, while also upping the volume. It's an exponential curve typically for the strikes for Kamaru Usman. That's not to say with Covington it's not, but normally with Covington he keeps a baseline, he keeps it consistent.
Which is very high.
He tries to chain wrestle, but at the same time his striking's great. In that Lawler fight, if you missed it, somehow maybe you missed it.
It was so one-sided.
A lot of people did. But Colby Covington, he did look really good in that fight. You have to give it to him. The one odd storyline that I want to talk about before the final minute, this whole myth, or it's been turned into lore that Colby Covington was going to get cut before he fought Damian Maia.
There's so many more important things we can.
I don't believe it. I mean, we've got a minute left. I don't buy it. He tried that whole gimmick as a heel when he fought Stun Gun over in Singapore. It didn't really cross over. It really hit a nerve over in Brazil. Matt, the odds on this one, you got a minus 175 for Usman. You got plus 155 for Colby Covington. Do you agree with him, and who are you going with
I
here?
don't, and here's the thing. I know a lot of you are probably going to say they were just biased against Colby Covington because you don't like his gimmick. Take the gimmick out of it and just look at what both guys do well. Kamaru Usman has the same skill set as Colby Covington. He just does a little bit better at everything. And I feel like the odds are closer than they should be due to the fact that this fight has a lot of hype around it and has a lot of eyes towards it because of all the Colby Covington controversy. I would personally have Usman as like a 2.5 to 1 favorite. I have it like a minus 250. I feel like that would be fair. I think Usman's going to be able to win by decision, and I feel like it's going to be a pretty one-sided one at that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as well. And listen, Colby Covington, as much as it's a shtick and as much as people get so upset about it, we've been feeding a fed horse for the past number of months talking about Colby Covington. But the fact of the matter is, you can pull it up on Twitter and YouTube and see all of these good things that Colby Covington's done, talking to fans, people at an airport, going over and seeing them, taking pictures, offering them advice. It's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, and guess what? It's working.
Yeah, and at the end of the road, he got himself a title shot. Yeah. And he's put on some pretty darn good performances in the UFC. I just don't think he's going to be able to match that of Kamaru Usman. I agree with you. Decision win for Usman, but Matt, this should be a really fun one. You're not going to want to miss our UFC 245, 2-minute, 5-minute, main card and prelim predictions here on YouTube with Fight Night Picks. Let's get into it.